Now we're live. What on earth was that all about? I try not to. Somehow I managed to lock the screen. Right, reload it. Come on, let's make a start. It is midnight. Oh, in some folklore, the time after midnight, but it's 29 now. But in some folklore, the time after midnight is the time for evil. But anyhow, so yay, we are live. So this video is for the strawberry moon in Sagittarius. So I just want to have a quick read into the energies in the around this. So obviously we have moon energy. It's very interesting because the moon is very low for the first time in 18 whole years, so it won't be this low and it won't be in this specific moon position for another 18 years, so it won't be until like 2043 or something crazy like that. So it is a very significant position that the moon is in, so it's going to affect us in different ways, as the moon always does. The moon always has such magical and subtle ways of connecting with us and activating us and giving us, or rather just letting us know that its presence is here. So with the moon, the full moon being in Sagittarius, Sagittarius is a fire sign, and interestingly enough, as well as Sagittarius being a fire sign, the month we're in is June, and the summer solstice is literally about maybe a week away, 2 weeks at the most. Sorry, I've not actually figured that out, but we're at the 12th now, so the summer solstice, sorry, is usually around the 21st, 20th, 21st, or 22nd of June. So it's usually a 2-day festival, the summer solstice. So we have lots of fire energy, we have sun energy, and the moon itself is literally a mirror which reflects the light of the sun. So the moon is reflecting back this powerful creative energy. Like in one of my last videos, I was telling everyone how the solar flares are sending this mighty Ra creative energy. So Ra being a sun god and a creator deity, so we have this mighty energies being bounded at the earth, like a lot more than usual. So we've got so much power. Okay, so a lot is going on. Okay, so the strawberry moon, Sagittarius, is one of the fire signs, as I was explaining. So there's 3 fire signs, Leo being one of them, my favourite sign, obviously, because that is my zodiac sign. And there is also Sagittarius, and what is and Aries, of course. How can I forget Aries? We have Saturn in Aries. That is literally another astrological movement which has recently happened this year, and it's a very important big one which I'll be talking about in another video. Okay. Okay, so there's the important thing to know is that the moon is at its lowest, and it's not been in this position for 18 years. So that's what I was literally just mentioning. And and as well as that is the placement of Sagittarius, so it's connecting with the sun in fiery energies, which we already have anyway, because we're in June, the month of the summer solstice. So there's a lot of harmonious energies. So those energies that are harmonious with each other in resonance. There's a lot of resonance there. So the strawberry moon. Why is it called the strawberry moon? And I know a lot of people may be wondering, why is it called the strawberry moon? So we get these names from the Native American people. So they have these wonderful names which come from their traditions, and it's called the strawberry moon because this is the time of the year when they harvest strawberries. This is when we can harvest strawberries because this is when they're in season, and it just happens to be that that is when the sun is at its greatest and its most powerful and brightest. So I'm guessing, I'm not a massive grower of fruit and plants and agriculture, whatever, but I'm guessing that strawberries must need a lot of sunlight, and hence why they are harvested at this time. So next, so that is why we call it the strawberry moon, because this is the time for harvesting the strawberries. And it's important to kind of look at that from more than one angle, to kind of look at how this can be taken symbolically to mean other things. Like, it's a time for harvesting strawberries, yes, so that is the mundane way of looking at the strawberry moon and that context. But there's also the fruits that we all produce. We are all beings, we're all people here on earth, and we're able to create things and produce things in a way those things are our own fruits, just as trees and plants create fruit. So it's all about, like, this time of the year, this portal that we're going through, it's about bearing these fruits. So we need to always be mindful as we need to always be mindful of the saying, as within so without. So it's as above so below. It's everything mirrors each other. It's the great cosmic harmony of the universe. So as within so without. So as the fruits are blooming out across the lands, so must we too be bearing our own fruits. Okay, so those fruits could be projects, it could be creative things. So the important thing is for us to be productive and creative, and we should be honouring life and its pleasures, is a note that I wrote down. So staying active and giving your energy to create more of what you love in your life. So again, that's an important one. Hello, Ashford. It's lovely to see you again. So Ashford says, hi Ruben, the year is totally blossoming. Yes. So this is, what did it just say? Sorry, my memory is pretty rubbish. So saying, all right, yeah, that was it. So honouring life and its pleasures, and bringing things, the fruits of our labours. As mentioned that, I completely lost it. I've literally not written that much down. Honouring life and its pleasures, staying active and giving your energy to create more of what you love in your life. That was it. So there's the emphasis here is focusing your energy on what you want more of. So as we have, as we're absorbing so much sunlight, and the sunlight is very powerful, so we need sunlight to live. So the sunlight gives us, it affects our chi, so it replenishes our chi, our prana, whatever you want to call it, our energy, life force energy. So we're all the time we're absorbing sunlight. As long as it's not too cloudy, we'll be absorbing that sunlight, and that replenishes our energy. So we can then use this energy, all of us, we can use this energy in our magic, in our manifestation. Okay, so this is why it's saying to create more of what you love in your life. So using that creative energy, that same creative energy that the creator deities use, because we can all tap into it. We're all part of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. We all have that divine spark within us, as I love to keep reminding you all. But the emphasis is creating more of what you love in your life, and that makes you magnetic in a way. So once you are in alignment and you're living the way that you want to, the way that you love, you're doing lots of the things that you love, you're in a blissful mindset, your life is filled with joy, happiness, and you're not being dragged down, you're not focusing on the bad things that happen, you're focusing on the good. So this is how we create more of what we love, because we then become magnetic, because we draw more of the same things that we're focusing on. So it's like the saying goes, our energy goes where our attention flows. So we create our own reality, basically. So it's the law of attraction. Okay. So intention setting and self-discovery is very important at this time as we walk through this full moon portal. But I'm actually going to pull some tarot cards as well. Let's see what the Grimalkin Tarot has to say about the energies that are around us. And Ashford says, blessings from you two. Oh, okay. And Shamash and Ra and Helios, etc. Yeah, the sun deities. Or rather, yeah, Helios is a sun deity. But yeah, I always go off on a tangent when people mention Apollo, because Apollo is a god of light, but not necessarily the sun. But yeah, you got it correct. So there is Ra, Helios, Shamash, and U2. Okay. So just ask Spirit, I ask our angels, I ask Spirit come forward with some guidance for us for this portal of the full moon in Sagittarius, the strawberry full moon. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the card that we have here, and it's very interesting. So we have the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords represents some form of deception. So it's not, it's basically saying that we need to kind of shine a light on the deceptions that are around us, because lies and deception, they love to thrive in within the dark and within ignorance. So it's like they're trying to kind of, it's kind of like they're jealous of your power and jealous of your light. So they want to control that. And in a way, they're kind of that arrogant that they see it as some kind of fun, that they have fun whilst they do it. They kind of see it as a like sport or a game, but this isn't a game that we're talking about. This is our lives. So the important thing is being forewarned and knowing beforehand of these people who try to deceive just for the fun of it and at everyone else's expense. So we're not there for that kind of thing. No thank you. Okay, so another thing that I picked up just before I started was I was seeing a golden wheel, the golden wheel of transformation. So it's interesting, kind of, that about the 7 swords coming up, because I was kind of seeing sort of like Rumpelstiltskin's, like where he's Rumpelstiltskin's golden spindle. So the folklore or the story goes that Rumpelstiltskin, he has hay. He gathers worthless hay and he manages to use his magic to turn the hay not into like wool or cotton or not just regular corn, but he manages to transform the hay into gold. But as well as him being able to do this alchemical or miraculous feat, he is also kind of seen as a trickster and not always truthful. So it's interesting that that sort of trickster energy is presenting itself in this reading, because there's kind of 2 sides to Rumpelstiltskin. There's the side that is able to provide riches, is able to perform these miracles, and then there's the other side which would easily deceive others. Okay, so it's good to be aware of those trickster sorts of energies. And that's brilliant. So as long as we're keeping our eye. Oh, Tallulah, the cat meowing at the door. It's interesting because she looks just like that. Okay, so 10 of Pentacles. I told you was going to have to wait, Tallulah. So 10 of Pentacles, this is about materials and wealth. So it's a very positive sign. So I believe that Spirit is saying, if you keep your eye on the trickster energy, on the people who would pull the wool over your eyes. Interesting, very interesting saying, actually, pull the wool over your eyes, when we're talking about Rumpelstiltskin, who's able to kind of use a spindle not to make wool, but instead to make gold. So yeah, that's interesting seeing that they say pull the wool over your eyes. I wonder where the root of that saying comes from. That is really interesting. I'd love to know that. If anyone does know where that saying came from, please do put it in the comments. But the next card, as I was saying, is the Ten of Pentacles. So this is representing wealth, happiness, success. So I'll show you that one again. So that is a very positive card. So that is the card which kind of mirrors, or not mirrors, it's kind of like the opposite to the other card. Whereas the other card was kind of like, it was kind of shining like a light on the negative things to be aware of, but this is then shining the light on all of the positives and the success which is waiting and available. So next I'm going to pull one of the Ozette Oracle cards. So these are all based on Egyptian deities. So it'll be interesting to see which one pops in for us with some guidance. Right, interesting. So the card that I've pulled, I had to do a double take then because it's the same on each side, because that they've used that card for the back of the card. So I did a double take and flipped it round, but it actually is that card. And interestingly enough, it's not just one of the deities on this card. It says Blue Lotus, and this represents enlightenment. And that's very interesting actually, because at the weekend I drank a cup of Blue Lotus tea, and it was very magical and enjoyable actually. So, but I believe so it says the message here is enlightenment. So some people may use like microdosing on like magic mushrooms or any other thing, or there's beautiful plants like Blue Lotus, or there's cacao, all of these plant medicines which are able to help us to reach an enlightened state. But essentially it's always good to put in some form of effort and some form of energy ourselves, rather than just expecting to just consume something and then to just be given enlightenment. Okay. And the deity which is associated with the lotuses and Blue Lotus, the first one that comes to mind for me is Nefertum, and he is the child of Sekhmet. And Sekhmet, I tell you about Sekhmet all of the time, and but Sekhmet is warrior, fierce protector, and warrior goddess, lion-headed. And Nefertum, he is sometimes shown as lion-headed like Sekhmet, and sometimes he's not shown as lion-headed. Sometimes he's shown in a human form, or humanoid form rather, not just human. But yeah, that's very interesting. So I feel like Spirit is definitely guiding us to put in some more effort into our ascension work and our enlightenment work. So whether that is doing the shadow work to let go of the baggage which holds us back from reaching enlightenment, or whether we're just doing a bit of spiritual development, whether we're doing a lot of meditation, we're doing some yoga. We need to be doing some things for ourselves and kind of make sure we hitting all of the key areas, such as doing something which is going to benefit the body, so like keeping active, doing exercise, yoga, etc. Some things that are good for both, like yoga, that's good for the mind, body and spirit, etc. But breath work comes to mind as well, so there's a lot of these things will help us to develop our psychic faculties, to bring our aura and our energy centers into balance. So I believe this is what this card is telling us about. So that is one of the spirit messages there. Okay, so I'm... Ooh, bugger. Interesting. So I've just literally just thrown 2 cards out of the deck, and they're very interesting cards. I definitely like the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups is always like a triumphant card to pull, because it's showing some form of celebration. Usually it's showing some form of celebration, but this is an interesting depiction that this artist has chosen for this card, because usually in Rider-Waite deck you see three women, and they're dancing around holding up their cups, celebrating as if they're doing some form of toast. But in this card, two of the cups have been knocked over by the cats, so the liquids are spilling out, which is interesting. And then there's another cat just standing next to the third cup. That is interesting. So I wonder... So yeah, it's kind of like a reminder to be careful, or not to be too wasteful, or too I'm trying to think of another word for clumsy, like not to be clumsy, because I feel like yes, I feel like yeah, it's good to celebrate and to go a bit wild, really go for it whilst you're celebrating. But yeah, just be careful at the same time that you just not kind of shooting yourself in the foot, or you're not throwing your goblets away and the contents of the goblets. So the Three of Cups. So again, we've got a dual message there. So there is careful that you're not being wasteful, that you're not going to just chuck the wine or whatever's in the goblets away. Don't just chuck it away carelessly. But also, Spirit's telling you to go for it, have a good time, celebrate, because you've earned your success as well. So the other card we have here is the Six of Wands. Again, we have a beautiful black cat, and there's 2 other cats and a lot of white birds. So white birds, that for me is kind of like signifying like messages from loved ones beyond the veil. Yeah, because the cats have got the glazed over eyes. They're kind of like all wondrous, looking all wondrous upwards. And then there's the black cat in the middle that is like Yeah, there's messages from spirit, and what? I'm kind of just gonna sit here and wait for you to feed me. So yeah, I'd just be mindful of that. That kind of just be open. Like you may you may receive messages from loved ones in your dreams, or it may be that it's kind of like a synchronicity. You may be suddenly turn on the radio and a loved one's favorite song plays, that kind of thing, or you may just be walking in round the supermarket and then all of a sudden like a loved one's favorite perfume hits you because someone else is wearing it, but it wasn't expected. So that those kind of things are the synchronicities, and they're kind of like the messages from our loved ones who have gone beyond the veil. But also Six of Wands, I believe wands wands are all usually to do with they're very kind of aggressive, to be fair, but I guess that's kind of the fiery energy in them. So yeah, it may be that the, if you do receive messages from loved ones, they may be giving you guidance on how to kind of get around any obstacles that other people may try throw at you. Ashford Weird says cats don't mind spilled milk. Oh, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, yeah, it does look white, so it likely is that the artist has put milk in the goblets for the cats. Yeah. Yeah, so that gives it a completely different meaning and outlook if the milk is overflowing from the goblets so that they can drink it. But my cat, she'll drink from the cup. She's so cheeky. You leave any milky or sweet, like even, it doesn't even have to be milky. I leave herbal teas on the side with a bit of honey in them, and my cat will just come over and just drink it. She loves sweet things as well as milk. Okay, let's go. Ooh, interesting. So this is the next card which I've pulled, and I'm gonna definitely read from the book about this one because I feel like this one is very apt, so it's very significant. So we have one of the, so this is the depiction on the canopic jars, but it represents one, I believe it represents one of the 4 children of Horus. So it says Quebsenuf, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it says fire spirit. So hence this is the time of the year where fire spirits are running rampant. We have the summer solstice so close by, and we have so many astrological connections with fire as well. We've got Aries, we've Saturn in Aries, we have the moon in Sagittarius, and before you know it, we'll be in Leo season. I can't wait for that one. But yeah, let's have a, I'm gonna look into the book to see what the further significance of this one is. So it's card number 29. And the cat's still scratching at the door. Oh, dear me. Right, so it says, hawk-headed Quebsinuff is one of the four sons of Horus and is said to inhabit the human body as the fire spirit. He is best known as the funerary quaternary of the canopic jars that held the organs of the deceased, and in this case the intestines. Quebsinuff can be called upon to increase the fire and energy levels in your body, and he helps with nutrient absorption. You will feel his protective presence if you request it, as a warm fluttering energy, and he can assist you greatly with self-healing. Ah, brilliant. So I feel like that there's a lot in there, but basically the nitty-gritty of it is call upon Quebsinuff, one of the sons of Horus, and he will be able to bring some help you to generate some self-healing. So this is the message. I come now from the west to give you new life, for I am Quebsinuff, he who refreshes his brethren with fire energy. Know if you visit Egypt, I can help you or can hinder you, so be aware of this and invoke me respectfully. My energy is in your intestines, so invoke me and you will feel my energy. Work with me and dear Sekhmet, for many changes are coming to your life. And then there's additional meanings which go from the different areas of life. So let's look at abundances. So it says, expect a fire response if you're asking for a loan from a friend. Take care with your money rather than overspending. For love, it says an existing relationship might have temporary problems. A new relationship probably won't last due to heated arguments. Work and career, good for work advancement. Take care not to enter into heated arguments. Health, short-term health concerns soon heal. Ask Quebsinuff to help you if you have low energy or stomach problems. Future, unaffected by your current situation. The situation will settle and pass, but you will absorb the wisdom from it. Brilliant. So that is a very interesting card there. So yeah, if anyone's in need of any extra healing, call upon one of the four sons of Horus. So he is called Quebsinuff, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I may not be pronouncing it correctly. Okay. Now let's go back to the Grimalkin Cat Tarot. Any further messages for us, please? I wonder what you'd like to tell us next. Okay. Ooh, that's a brilliant one. So this is, I believe this one is like the world card. So this is the equivalent to the world card in the Rider-Waite deck and Marseille deck. So it says unity. So the world card, that is usually a very positive card. It means like things are coming to completion, usually that will mean. So the message written on this one, it says unity. So if we're going with that, then it's kind of, there's an emphasis on working with other people towards a common goal. So I'm going to pull the book just to see if there's anything deeper that we can gather from this card. Alright, so it's not the equivalent to the world card, so it looks like the world card is still in this deck. I thought, so it looks like they've added another card to this deck. Okay, so it says, the three cats find comfort in each other's company, although each possesses a different personality. Relaxation washes over them when they are together. They accept each other into their space without defensiveness or hissing. They know that as a group they are protected. It is our connections to others where we find our strength, our security, our sense of love and belonging. When unity arrives, look for relationships that create a sense of wholeness, where you are free to be as you are, your true self, perfectly imperfect. When we are supportive in a group, we can act without fear of judgment or criticism. When you are surrounded by those who love and accept you even when you are not showing your best side, or maybe say the less than appropriate thing aloud, a channel of trust is formed. There is a powerful supportive energy that comes from this connection, as it will create space for security and abundance to flow. Wow. So, other messages from this is allowing vulnerability within a group, joining forces with others, finding your community or support network, feeling free to express yourself without fear. Wow, so yeah, I believe that is a very powerful message, a very important one. So I'll show you the card one more time. And there you have it. Whew. So I feel like there's been a lot of big messages in there. Yeah, I feel like there was definitely a lot to take in. So I'll just have a quick look here to see if I've mentioned everything that I was supposed to. So yeah, just going back on that, we too must produce the fruits of our labours and transform all of the extra sunlight into something productive or creative. So that was a message which I was mentioning earlier. So one of the takeaways from this is staying active, giving your energy to create more of what you love in your life. Intention setting is very important right now with this full moon portal. Self-discovery, celebrating, that is tying in again with the Three Cups card, celebrating. Gratitude and abundance. So these are all keywords which are tied around this portal. And not being afraid to glow or shine is another important message as well. As it was saying before with the Seven of Swords, with the Seven of Swords, that represents some deception which is hiding within the shadows or the darkness. So it shows that when there's people who we come across who are trying their hardest to hide something from you, and they do that most easily by keeping within the shadows. So if we're approaching them and we're shining our light, our symbolic light, we'll say, if we're shining our light into every corner, every shadow, then we're gonna then reveal what has been hidden, and this will be beneficial for us in the long run. And it means that no one can pull the wool over our eyes, so that's very important. Okay, so finding your clouder. Ashford says finding your clouder. I'm not sure what clouder is. I'm not sure if that's a mistype. But yeah, so like finding your tribe sort of thing, because again, going back to that unity card, it's very, very important like, it doesn't have to be the be all and end all for you. So don't feel like if you don't fit in anywhere, then or rather if you're feeling like you don't fit in anywhere, that it's the end of the world. That's not what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that there is other people who share our values, who share our ideology, as we always find, like when we come onto like social media, like we are now, we see like-minded people come together as we're attracted to some of the same things. So this is why unity is so important, because as individuals we can work our magic, we can do things, we can work to transform our lives, our own personal lives. But when we come together as a collective, then we're able to transmute and transform so much more. Like on the collective level, we're able to do so much more work. It can be so much more powerful because all of the energy is combined and our intention is combined together. So that is why unity is so important. So it's like if you think of like a coven of witches, like, or a coven of witches, or like a spiritual group. That's why it's always good if you're wanting to do some spiritual development, to not just try to not just focus on learning on your own, because you're always going to learn better in a group setting. So if there's some form of class or spiritualist church nearby, if there's a group of people, a circle, then if you're able to come together, then you'll find it so much more beneficial. I know I did when I joined an ascension group like in 2012. It was a long time ago, but I really did find that very beneficial, like seeing other like-minded people. There were people of different ages and different backgrounds, but we all had that one thing in common. We all wanted to develop our psychic faculties and work on our ascension. So it is very important to just find people who are like-minded. Clouder is like a pride for cats. Ah, I've not heard of that before, but that sounds cool. Brilliant, thank you, Ashford. Right, so thank you, Ashford, for tuning in. I know you're watching, and thank you everyone else who's watching. I'm very honoured that you've taken your time. Feel free to check out some of the other videos, and I will see you all again hopefully next week. I'll try my best. I know I've not been around very often recently just because I've got so much crazy stuff going on. I'm in the middle of moving house very soon, so I've just been packing and all sorts of other mayhem going on, but I will be back very soon. You can certainly expect a video from me for the summer solstice, and I will see you all very soon. And I do have lots of other ideas for videos. Thank you. Ashford says congratulations. Thank you, Ashford. But yeah, I will catch you all soon. I'm happy you was able to catch me, because I wasn't sure if like some of the regulars would know that I was going to be online today with it, because I usually go online at the weekends. And where are we now? It's Thursday. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I may be back at the weekend. If not, it will be the solstice. Right, thank you all. Brightest blessings and namaste.